Death metal by far won the category of best metal albums overall this year.
These are the death metal picks of this year, baby.
Before we get started, we are super close to 20,000 subscribers. There's a lot of new people in the community. Hit the subscribe button, come hang out. You don't want to miss out. Sulphur Aeon, 7 Crowns and 7 Seals. With nearly 15 years of death metal history behind this band's belt, Sulphur Aeon has become a prominent force in Germany's extreme metal underground. Their distinct black and death metal style, enriched with atmospheric and gothic nuances, has garnered critical acclaim and a global fan base, us included. The release of 7 Crowns and 7 Seals accentuates their enigmatic approach, resulting in a dark and highly ferocious and also accessible record. The album kicks off with the atmospheric, somber tidings seamlessly flowing into the intense hammer from the howling void. Check this out. This dynamic start blends grating death metal with captivating leads, establishing a seriously foreboding ambiance. Usurper of the Earth and Sea takes a measured approach, though, fusing a monolithic sound with melodic leads and sinister undertones. Sulphur Aeon's evolution is evident in each record, and 7 Crowns and 7 Seals stands out as a potential pinnacle of their discography here. The intricate fusion of elements crafts an ominous and captivating atmosphere, making the album appealing across the spectrum of death metal enthusiasts. If you've somehow missed the mightiness of this band, this is the perfect fucking time to jump in. Don't miss it.
Carnosus, Visions of Infinihility. Death metal this year fell into 3 categories for me. Unbelievably exceptional, there's only 2 of those records. Familiar but good, and forgettable. This record is in the middle category, featuring a familiar sound for sure, but delivering it with a sincere ferocity that I wouldn't have expected from a band so early on in their career. This is a sophomore record from these Swedish death thrashers, and their trajectory has certainly caught our attention. We live in a world where you can sit at your desk, write and arrange complex music on some software, spend a zillion hours practicing it until it's a fucking diamond, and then putting it out there on the internet for everyone to behold and go, oh my god. What I like about Carnosus' direction is that they are absolutely trying to create complex technical arrangements sans the zillion hours of perfection. I like the way their technical parts sound, loose but still flowing, more akin to jazz versus the staccato of a classical-inspired piece. This was an easy one to put on this list, Forgemates. While it is not reinventing anything, sometimes you just want something fresh but familiar, like your favorite car model or menu item. I'll eat 30 different types of cheese and tell you how much fun I'm having before I violently start farting. This is a big ol' heap of gorgonzola. Here, Forgemates, go nuts on this fucking album.
Horrendous, Ontological Mysterium. Horrendous, the seasoned death metal architects hailing from Philadelphia, embark on a audacious and multifaceted odyssey with their 5th offering, Ontological Mysterium. Renowned for their musical shapeshifting from old school death metal revivalism to progressive death metal fusion, the album, spanning a concise 40 minutes, delves into an array of death metal subgenres. Departing from their previous meticulous precision, Ontological Mysterium embraces a liberated spirit here, weaving in melodic interludes and experimental nuances, marking their most radical departure yet from their sound. Guitarist vocalist Matt Knox characterizes the album's stylistic breadth as an amalgamation of their entire musical journey, and it's definitely that. While traces of past albums are discernible, the compositions here exude a frenetic energy, departing from their meticulous past, and this is by far my favorite record that they've put out yet. This album showcases stellar musicianship, man, along newfound freedom, revealing a more playful and experimental facet of Horrendous.
Barbiturates.
Despite the dazzling nuances throughout, the band maintains a seamless coordination, blending their contributions cohesively. By embracing a whirlwind of influences and genre-defying expectations, Horrendous breathes a fresh vitality into their sound, making Ontological Mysterium a murderously thrilling chapter in their evolution.
Awaken the gods of fire.
Kataklysm, Goliath, the best of the fresh but familiar records. I'd give it to this one, Forgemates, Kataklysm. It feels very similar in quality and execution as this year's Dying Fetus record, hitting you ruthlessly over the head with a stovepipe until you've become nothing but pieces of cranium and meat on the concrete floor. 15 albums, folks. From 1995 to 2023, this band has proven to be just that, a fucking Goliath. As long as you have a healthy little drummer boy that's willing to bust their balls touring with you, you too can be a 50-something-year-old metal musician touring the world. I get it, man. That's why drum machines are fucking cool. They may be soulless, but they'll outlive us all. What were we talking about? If we're doing music and food comparisons, this album is like a big fucking slab of meat, a side of carbs, and grilled asparagus to make your pee-pee smell like a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant.
I won't surrender. I'll never yield in this world.
I've got a lot of love for this band. I'm pretty excited to talk about them on our next 90s debut album Ranked with their first album, Sorcery. That's a cool record.
Cattle Decapitation, Terrasite. Terrasite delivers an utterly mind-blowing musical experience from start to finish. It is probably my total #1 pick for album of the year. This album picks off with a forceful Terrasitic adaptation, hitting the listener like a auditory fucking sledgehammer to the dome. Check this out. The journey unfolds, culminating in a gripping closure of Just Another Body, delving into the depths of humanity's self-destruction with a mix of somber acceptance and just virtuous fury. I love this song. Check this out. And also highlighted by tracks like Scourge of the Offspring, Terrasite exemplifies a technical death metal essence with intricate riffs, masterful drumming. It's just an all-around perfect death metal record for 2023 and in their discography to date. Since this album dropped, I have not been able to get certain parts of this album out of my head, and this is one of them. Yeah, dude, sheer fucking brilliance. Cattle Decapitation's signature thematic death metal infused with melody, hints of blackened essence, slam, and also a little dash of grind. It's masterfully curated here. And also, Travis Ryan's distinctive vocal goblin delivery is an insightful social commentary to serve as the cohesive thread throughout the record, elevating their vision one step further and giving us an intense dose of brutality and over-the-top lyricism and mind-blowing musicianship.
Kalmah, self-titled. Bit of an outlier in this category with this melodic death power act. I was thrilled to see that Kalmah was returning from the swamps to deliver something wretched and grotesque. This band was huge in our friend circle, and alongside acts like Norther, Children of Bodom, and Eternal Tears of Sorrow, this extreme variation of power metal was captivating as young teenagers. In Forgemates, I'm happy to say it still is, even as fat old adults. Kalmah has always delivered a grittier, more thrashy variety of melodic death compared to bands like Winter Sun or Bodom, where these bands might feel more comfortable leaning into an airy melody that Mozart himself would approve of. Kalmah drags you through the bogs with their impressive chugging, stomping, and mid-paced bridges that will leave you breaking your fucking neck. For the most part, this album does everything right. There's a lot of speculation out there that this very well could be the last Kalmah record. We're not in the business of prophesizing, but if the band does decide to stick around and give it another go, their self-titled is going to prove to be a strong marker in their discography. 2023 was stacked with melodic death. This album went up against bands like Before the Dawn, Insomnium, Swotana, Atavistia, Storthren, In Flames. Yeah, I'd pick up the Kalmah self-titled before any of those, and that is saying something. Read between the lines, Forgemates, get this fucking record.
Dying Fetus, make them beg for death. Following the pummeling impact of 2017's Wrong One to Fuck With, the new album is a relentless onslaught of the band's trademark fusion of death metal and hardcore, seasoned with elements of grind and a touch of also black metal atmosphere. Opening with Enlightened Through Agony, the album sets the tone with scathing riffs and venomous vocals, incorporating black metal nuances that really fucking work. Check this out. Across the 9 ensuing tracks, there are no weak links, and the standout moments include Ferocious, Feast of Ashes, a visceral blend of guttural vocals and fast fingerwork, and the intense, brief assault of Throw Them in the Van is also a welcomed addition to the record. Particularly noteworthy are When the Trend Ends, a machine gun-like chugging attack that just grinds the listener into submission, and Raised in Victory, Raised in Defeat, which balances a frantic assault with feverish hostility. Clocking in at 41 minutes, Make Them Beg for Death is a relentless, brutal fucking murder spree, showcasing Dying Fetus' mastery in crafting gloriously brutal death metal. With over 30 years in the industry, man, the band reiterates its status as one of extreme metal's formidable forces, delivering an album that solidifies their reputation as uncompromising titans of the death metal genre.
Nothingness, Supraliminal. We had some serious contenders this year in what I am coining the cavernous death metal subgenre. You heard that one here first, Forgemates. Bands like Tomb Mold, Ulthar, and Blood Incantation have all been exploring this unique sound that mixes Lovecraftian cosmic horror with the audio production managed by the creatures from The Descent.
Are sounding great. This is awesome.
Nothingness delivered a hulking slab of death metal here, Forgemates. While there is nothing on this album that is pushing boundaries or breaking tomb molds, there are unique spots scattered throughout this record that left me coming back for more. Now, the production isn't stellar here, okay, but that's one of the actual quirks about this album. It punishes you with all its flaws, rewarding you for paying attention to their sick riffs. This record carried over from my mid-year list, with good reason. Songs like Festering Abstraction deliver that chaotic blend of sludge and death metal, creating an overbearing sense of horror. While the vocals do tend to get quite monotonous, they're forgivable, if not downright forgettable. The band might want to consider a more dynamic vocal performance moving forward, but for this album, it works. Speaking of dynamics, I was really surprised to hear some clean guitars breaking up that all-out assault on our ears. As I listen to more and more of these types of modern death metal bands, doesn't cavernous sound much better? It's a trope that I'm starting to realize it is quite welcome in the subgenre. Bring on the Supraliminal.
I love that this one made the list, man. Autopsy, Ashes, Organs, Blood, and Crypts. The minute I threw this album on, I had to check to make sure that I wasn't blasted back in fucking time. Man, did they nail the old school feel here, and it rips, dude. Autopsy, one of the legendary purveyors of old school death metal, return here with Ashes, Organs, Blood, and Crypts, their 9th album following the impressive Morbidity Triumphant back in 2022. Despite the short gap between releases, Autopsy delivers death metal with a playful and adventurous twist here. The album opens with Rabid Funeral, featuring their classic punk thrash energy and Chris Reifert's unique vocals. However, the song takes an unexpected mid-tempo turn, allowing for meandering horror-inspired guitar solos. Well of Entrails showcases a doomier side of the band, which I really loved, reminiscent of Candlemass and Trouble. And as the album progresses, it offers a diverse range of influences, from stoner doom to thrash metal and death metal fury. With a concise runtime at 42 minutes, the album maintains a deathly punch, dude. Ashes demonstrates Autopsy's enduring creativity and adds another solid chapter to their legacy of gruesome fun, proving that they're still at the top of their game after 3 fucking decades of classic gory releases.
Wretched Fate. Carnal Heresy. This one here is a bit of a surprise. It has been a stranger to our channel right up until this point. That's how we do things here, Forgemates. While we do try to listen to an eclectic amount of music, we are also adhering to a pretty strict schedule with our Best of the Month series. Sometimes that can just jam us up and we completely miss albums like this one. Now, I gotta say, there were a ton of albums begging for this last spot. Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Cryptopsy, Frozen Soul, Obituary, Creeping Death, plenty more. So what makes this one stand out over all these others? Well, first of all, I don't think it's a matter of standing out at this point, because Those albums are all very capable of replacing this one on any given day, in any given mood that I'm in. This is bloodbath worship through and through, and at times, it's fucking uncanny. Listen to what I mean. And that's it right there, folks. That's exactly why this album is taking a win on this round. It is not a groundbreaking sound by any stretch of the imagination. Hell, Bloodbath themselves are copying a sound established long ago. So this is a copy of a copy. I think Trent Reznor did a song about that. But a band to come out this confident, wearing the bloody uniform of their Swedish compatriots, I salute your bloody soaked rank, gentlemen. Forgemates, we have talked about the death metal albums that changed the landscape. They're out there now, you know them. This album is not that. It is one of the sweet or savory snacks that you go to when you get a craving. It's that series or podcast that you throw on in the background while you're doing shit around the house, or you find yourself needing to buckle down and focus for half an hour. This is comfort food in death metal form. Eat it up, Forgemates.
What were your favorite death metal albums of 2023? Leave them down in the comments below. Check out some of our cool ass merch too. Check out some of our other videos right here.
Go with the gods, Forgemates. Be the 7 crowns and the 7 seals.